All right, so now I got almost everything in the back of the truck. That was a pain in the ass piece of metal. It was nice and, well, that's the problem. It was light and too bulky. There we go. So I got the strap on it. Shouldn't blow out on the highway. Not saying I wouldn't want to be driving behind me, but yeah, I've got confidence in my strapping abilities there. I don't think anything's gonna fly out. So as long as I don't lose any tools, everything's underneath. I got anything that can fly out is in the back, backpack. So yeah, it was like that long, that much too long to get in there. So, and it interrupted my video, but ooh, geez, bumpy road. Here we go, bumps. Oh, it's not too bad. I think it was worse on the other side. But anyway, as I was saying, yeah, so here's what I gotta learn, okay? Not so much the songs I gotta learn as a bass player. I gotta learn about an hour and a half set, like basically think more like a concert than an actual set list. There will be set lists. So I said, send me everything you got. That's what I told Paul, the guitar player. Guy's a pretty good guitar player too. Does a kick-ass version of Little Wing. And I told him, I said, send me everything you got. They got about 75 songs as a band, and they, you know, they have a, you know, like you rotate your, you know, you rotate your set list every now and then, just because, you know, just cause, right? And you'll get bored with it if you don't. Where's that ridiculous truck? Oh, it's gone, or it shrank. Oh, no, there was a truck that was ridiculous. Oh, check out that old Stingray, an old C3 Corvette there. Favorite Corvettes are the C3s. Anyhow, long story short, which is always long for me, learning the bass and playing with the fingers versus playing with a pick, a mixture of both. There's not going to be too much slap funk. There is one Red Hot Chili Pepper song. What's it called? What the hell's it called there? Anyway, that one. That one could be tricky. Like, if I was gonna, there's a dog. Don't run too far. You got a shock collar on, buddy. Ah, you stop right there. Hey, that's where your shock collar is. That's the first time he's ever ran at me. He usually just sits there and watches me. So I would say, hey, nice job on strapping the busted chair in there. Nice. Anyway, the thing is that if I was like a funk band, there's no way I could do it. Like if it was like a lot of funk slap stuff, you know, you must slap the bass. The bass, you slap it. What do? You slap the bass. Like Davey 504 would say, right? But I'm not. I'm a guitar player. Would I rather be playing a guitar in the band? Absolutely. But would I not join a band just because I can't play guitar? No, being on stage is being on stage. The bass is a challenge to play endurance-wise, right? Like anybody can play an intense song for 5 minutes or 8 minutes or whatever, like Master of Puppets. You can learn that. Now try doing 10 or 12 songs like that in a row. You know what I mean? Then you're going to find out how tired you are. This is what happens to guys who play like a lot of electric guitar and decide to do an acoustic set live, right? So they practice and they play, say, maybe 15 minutes at a time. They sing 3 acoustic songs and they take a break when they're at home, or maybe they play for half an hour or whatever, and then they go and try to play a 3-hour night. If you will be exhausted playing guitar, sitting down, an acoustic guitar, he's booking it for 3 hours, 1-hour sets. 45 minutes to an hour is a typical set, right? And you're going to take maybe about a 15-minute, 20-minute break in between each set. And you do this for 3 hours, okay? The first hour, you're going to be hyped and everything like that. You're going to start to even feel like yawning in the second set, not because you're bored, but because you're tired, because you're not used to it. And, you know, and if you're bouncing around on top of that, you're not used to that either. So next thing you know, by the mid-second set, you're starting to get winded. Your hands are starting to get tired. Next thing you know, you're starting to play sloppy. You're missing notes. Your picking hand's not, you know, staying in time, because you're not used to the endurance of playing that long. So when any advice I could give a newbie, okay, before you play your first gig, you and your band must go through that set list, full duration, non-stop. Maybe you take a 5-minute break if it's a 3-hour set, 3 hours, but play an hour and a half and an hour and a half. Check out this truck. It's like the twin to mine, except for it's got the different hood scoop on it. It's got the cold air intakes. That's cool. The cool hood scoops on that. Anyway, yeah, so if you're gonna play, like in my case, it's going to be an hour and a half. If I'm gonna play an hour and a half, I gotta make sure that I can play for 3 hours non-stop, right? If I'm gonna play for 3 hours, I gotta make sure I can play for way more than that. Yeah, be fine. That's just my brake thingy. You get a red truck? That's a nice truck. Ooh. So that's kind of the thing you have to learn how to do, is build up that endurance. The question is, can I do it in a month and a half? You know, like, well, not even a month and a half. Well, we're the 16th, 17th today. Yeah, about a month and a half, the 22nd of July. I bet you that's, I should be able to take that. I should take that. It's a barbecue. When it's that far off the road, you don't know, eh? Usually if it's beside the garbage can, it is. See, car parts, told you, car parts. Alright, let's go, let's go, let's go, let's go, let's go. Thunder! Get some of that heavy pull there, buddy. Even just at 2,000 RPM, it's like, you know, it climbs fast. Love this truck. I do. I'll put up the window a bit. Yeah, I can't imagine what this thing was like new. Must have been a hoot. Still is, you know. So yeah, for beginning bass players, guitar players, whatever, the big thing is to basically have the endurance to play that long. And that's what I got to work on for the next month and a half. First, I've not only got to learn the songs, but I have to be able to practice them, you know, non-stop for an hour and a half straight, right? So that I know when I play, all I got to focus on is entertaining the audience. You know, like I say, when you're in your bedroom playing, you're a musician first. When you're recording, you're a musician first. But when you're in front of an audience, you are an entertainer first. Total different animal. And I'm not saying I'm the most entertaining person in the world to watch live, but I do try to put on a show. I ask myself, if I was in the audience, what would I want to see me do? You know what I mean? And I got that philosophy from Sugarland, country pop, excellent band. Like, if you're ever having a bad day, go listen to Sugarland songs. Especially like Tonight and Love, and you know, like their songs are really good. Their songs are really good. They're really catchy, really poppy, put you in a good mood, make you feel things, you know. But that's what they said, you know, like they based their show on, well, what would we want to see live if we went to a show, you know? And I'm like, that's a good philosophy, you know what I mean? So the other thing I don't know is I've never worked with these guys before, so they're hiring me, so to speak, not as, okay, you're going to get paid or whatever, just like, hey, do you want to be the bass player in our band? We play once in a while. We jam every second week. Whatever. I'm like, okay, that's not too bad. It's just the distance is going to be a bit tricky for me. So as long as I can work out the distance thing, like obviously I can't run this truck there and back. Like that's 60, 80 bucks of gas every time you go, right? Oh, look at that old truck. Wow, that's old. That's cool. That's when trucks were just utilitarian, you know? Gotta love that purity, you know? Gotta love this, yeah. But yeah, so for me, this is going to be interesting, playing a full gig. I've only maybe played, the longest I've ever played on stage with a bass would be like a half an hour, and it was like you know, like a really slow blues jam, like one finger stuff. You know what I mean? One note stuff, one finger, one note at a time, and doing it like that at a, like open jams, you know, 3-chord rock, you know, stuff you can't mess up. And even if you did, nobody would notice because you wouldn't even notice. You know, just, you know, you know, and they do like a little walking bass line every now and then. That's a lot different than doing the intense stuff of, you know, okay, got to keep up to, you know, 140 beats per minute in a gallop for 3 minutes straight. You know what I mean? Like that's gonna be hard. That's gonna be hard. But I like the challenge. There's more car parts in the ditch. Quebec roads, man. Quebec roads. Yeah, so that kind of goes back to, like, you know, right now, the video scenario that I was talking about in the previous few videos, I know they keep getting interrupted or whatever, about hiring a band member or being hired into a band. In my case, I'm going to be hired into a band. So I'm going to be doing their thing, which I'm sure these guys are pretty lenient. It's like if I come up with a couple of tunes, say, hey, do you guys want to learn this? I'll be like, yeah, sure, why not? You know, like I don't think it'll be like, okay, we're doing this and that's it. You know, I'm not going to be working for, you know, a really strict band. You know what I mean? So number one philosophy for any band I get into is, number one is have fun first. You know, make sure it's fun. If it's not fun, you're not going to do it long, you know? But I don't know what the focus is with this band in the sense of their long-term, right? I mean, I want to make money. You know, it's not all about the money for me. I want to play live more than anything. But, you know, like